As representatives of the country, when we put the blue on, when we play for our flag, just like a soldier never asks who we are fighting against or where we are fighting against them, as athletes, we use our tennis racket to represent our country. So for us, for me in particular, with the environment I grew up with my parents, and I know for these two boys especially, we share the same ideology. When it comes to playing for the country, we don't ask where and we don't ask who our opponents are. We go out there and represent the country to the best of our ability. And that is one of the reasons that I really want to commend everyone at AITA. I want to commend these two seniors of mine who I've grown up in front of for a job really well done. The coordination, he's not in here today, Bishwajit, right there, sitting quietly as always. He did a phenomenal job in communicating. I've got to thank all of AITA and these two, the captain and the coach, of communicating with all the players. They picked up the phone to me, they picked up the phone to Ram, to Sumit, to Saket, to the whole gang. And as much as you rightly said, there were a few of the boys who were not wanting to go to play against Pakistan in Pakistan, and the emails have come through. AITA have got all the emails from them saying they will not play there. So that being said, I think they've done a great job in getting the boys to come and play in a neutral venue. I also believe that Ram Kumar, Sumit have done a phenomenal job of making themselves available to play against Pakistan. And the way they conducted themselves, the way they were at the venue, the way they came for the training camp before Davis Cup, and the way the team atmosphere was so wonderful. It was real, like a pride of lions. We are ready to go. And for me, playing for the country is our greatest honor. So I just want to say great job from the captain, the coach, AITA, and the boys on the team for coming together for the nation.
Leander, you've played a lot, you've been a veteran and an absolute legend also. But does it hurt or do you feel bad, it is circumstances like these when you are, selected in the team? Because otherwise, perhaps had it been in Pakistan, all these players would have agreed. Maybe you wouldn't even have been selected for the team.
It's a great question. I've thought about it a few times, but when AIT approached me and asked me if I will be willing to play in Islamabad against Pakistan, I said yes. And before asking why, before asking what are the circumstances, I bleed blue. I've done it since, the day I knew what it meant because of my parents. They both represented the country. They both bled blue. So I think the environment you're brought up in nurtures who you are. The people you surround yourself with nurtures who you are. And I feel that with these two cats at the helm of the Davis Cup at the moment, they're setting the environment for the youngsters. See, I'm not going to play for too much longer. I've had a great 30-year stint in Davis Cup. I have lived my career playing for the country. So for me, when it comes to being called for a tie, whatever the circumstances are, I'll be there.
That goes for a round of applause.
You said 30 years. There's one more year to go. It
Yes.
was 1990.
February 1990.
Yes.
So this.
So one more.
So
more perhaps.
So this is not 30 years.
If you talk 2nd of February 1990 to be exact, my
In Chandigarh.
Davis Cup teammate was right there. And if you really look at it full circle, I'm happy you tried to correct me there because I would not have got a chance to be a Davis Cup player if this man had not stepped down from the 4th member of the team. Rohit was the 4th member of the team in 1990. And he stepped down to give me a spot. And the graciousness with which he did it, the brotherhood with which he stood by me, cheered for me from the sidelines, which would have been very tough. The graciousness that he conducts himself makes me proud to further the world record of 44 wins, him as my captain.
Thank you.
Secondly, February 2nd, 1990, if I'm not mistaken, Zishan Ali told me that my backhand was not as good as his, so he asked me to play on the ad side. So his inside-out backhand on the deuce side, finally after 5 hours and 28 minutes or something like that, we won 18-16 in the 5th. he carried me through my first Davis Cup match. We had all sorts of crazy memories, and I can sit here and we'll probably spend 6 months going through all these crazy memories. But it's been a special ride. It's been really a special ride, and it's for every one of the Indians around the world, every one of the Indians out there. It's for our fellow brothers and sisters on the front line who keep our families safe that we go and play for. And we do it with a tennis racket. If we serve a double fault or we lose a set, at the most people will tweet and say, how come you lost so many games? But when it comes to the people who keep our families safe, if they miss a shot or they miss a beat, it's our children who suffer. So in our best way, 30 years I've done it, we do the best we can, and we put our best foot forward. But like I said, I wouldn't have been who I am without Rohit and Zishan because of what they've done for me in my career, and I'd like to thank them for that. It's an honor to play under them. And also to play for the country. I mean, AIT has been phenomenal. I mean, simple details, no? I know I'm giving you long answers, but these things mean a lot to me. Simple details. That man right there said, you guys are going to minus 20 degrees Celsius temperature. So when we came here, AITA got us to pick up winter jackets. They got us to pick up gloves, stuff to cover our ears and our heads, inners. I'm not going to mention the brand, otherwise the man in the last seat wouldn't be too happy. But got us to get inners so that we are warm while we play. And the Yonex gear that we played with, the tracksuits that we wore, the match gear we played with, was all specific to what our needs were. So thank you, Rahul, and to Yonex for doing that for us. But yeah, it was really nice. The way the tie came together 7 weeks ago when I was first asked to come, and the way it's come together to sit here right now, I couldn't have scripted it better. That we come by, regardless of the team that Pakistan sent, we beat them 4-0. And what were the scores? 6-love, 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 6-1, 6-1, 6-3,
And 6-1, 6-0.
6-1, 6-0. So in 4 matches of Davis Cup, 2 games. In the doubles they got 4 games, so that's 6, and the other match they got 1. So they won 7 games out of 4 matches. I think the Indian team did a great job under Rohit and Zishan.
How challenging it was to playing under minus 20, and when did you last time play in such
I've never played in minus. It was minus 31. Played indoors. So playing indoors, there was a bit of heat and warmth in there, but it was still miserably cold outside. And
was it difficult to
it was a bit of a challenge. Yeah, I mean whenever you're playing away from home, you always have to acclimatize. But I've also got to thank the Kazakh Tennis Association, because we weren't even playing against Kazakhstan. It was India and Pakistan playing in Kazakhstan. And in Nur Sultan, the hospitality that the Kazakh Tennis Association showed us, we're very grateful for. The president himself blessed the tie. His association president and CEO and their group and their staff made sure that everything was taken care of, right from the hotel. I know we were looking at the best hotel with good heating, good gym work, good steam and sauna and recovery and swimming pool recovery program for our boys to do.
It was extremely cold. I mean, I didn't think we realized before we left from here what we were getting into. And in fact, we were wondering why, these heavy coats, and AIT did a fantastic job in giving us those with hats and gloves and all that. And we thought maybe it's, maybe we're not even going to use them. But when we went out there, it was so difficult just to stand out. A couple of us were not even wearing the inners and everything else were provided the first day when we landed there. And you could not even stand for more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes, And so overall, we discussed once we got there and we really got a feel for the cold, that the physios of the team, really worked hard. I must thank them. That there were recovery sessions, there were long warm-ups. We had decided, because in these kind of conditions, I've played in Sweden before in minus 15 and stuff like that. You can easily tear a muscle and not even know for 5 hours that you've torn a muscle till the time you cool down, and you could be carrying it and further damaging your muscle. So really a lot of hard work was put in with all the boys, warming them up very well and then cooling them down very well, so that the recovery was good for the next day for them to come on.
I seen two boys roaming on the ice without shirts. And
Oh, that was
That was the two physios. We won't allow the players to do that.
they, after the
After the
after,
time was over. Two physios.
so that was a fun part in the team. To be very honest, we had a great mix of, I would call us the older guys. And this guy still playing. So the older guys versus
Who you calling old?
Buddha bana diya, sir.
the experienced guys in the team and the youth. So I believe that this kind of atmosphere where everybody was really sort of pushing each other, enjoying each other's company. It was a job that I needed to make sure that there's a good energy in the team, there's a good synergy in the team for us to fire as one unit, and that happened. So I'm so glad that overall, even the team management that was there, Mr. Prem Kara and Sundar Iyer from the manager of the team, everybody, he had his share of jokes to tell the team, and so everybody sort of contributed in such a beautiful way that it's been really a wonderful 10 days. I think probably one of the most wonderful 10 days of my
last
life.
question, how did you celebrate? Was vodka there?
Sorry?
How did you celebrate after the winning the tie?
So
Was
we went.
vodka there? Any
Was vodka there? I don't drink. I never have.
No, so we went to. There was a very kind gentleman there who gave us some very nice. He owned an Indian restaurant and he invited. And the good part was there were a lot of students there, a lot of Indian medical students. And the first day we saw a couple of hundred of them coming, and then the word spread. So on Saturday we saw maybe even 800,000 people come from India, and everybody was so shocked that where suddenly these kids come from. And playing against them, it's with Pakistan, of course, how it is. It's a hyped up situation. And those guys with Bharat Mata Ki Jai and Vande Mataram, I mean, it fired up the boys even more. They were already quite fired up, and so it set the stage for fantastic performances.